this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, would it one I had today.
Good morning, Robertson County. What you doing? This is 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and this is One Street Over. Let's do it again. Middle of the week. Oh my goodness. You know, I thought we were in fall, but 80 degrees today. Wow, that is crazy. I have to tell you, this is one of those unusual, little breaks in the coolness. We had Bill Jones in. He's our extraordinary weather person, as you know. He was in yesterday and was talking about how that these are record highs. That is something that, he keeps up with, and I think it's fascinating. But just enjoy it. Enjoy it while you can. Enjoy the fact that you've got a little bit of a reprieve from the cold. And, just kind of maybe get out and do some gardening. We'll talk about Corbin Creek here in a minute. And I guarantee you, she would have a lot to say about, this is the time to get on out there and do the things that you need to do to make sure that your garden is ready to go when spring springs. And, time goes by so fast, it'll be here before you know it. But things that are going on. We've got Kurt Riley headed in. He is coming all the way in from Hendersonville, maybe even Gallatin. So he had quite a drive, got a little bit stuck in traffic. So he'll be in here in just a moment. Somebody we've been trying to get in for a while. And just a reminder, too, he's not only going to be on with me, he's going to be on with Lee Marie. So he's going to stick around. Since he's making the drive in, he is going to stick around and stay on with Lee Marie. But he's somebody that's trying to make a difference in the political world through, encouraging people. Come on in here, Kurt. Come on in here. Come on in and sit down. But he's trying to encourage people to step up and run for office that have got, real conservative values. Because a lot of the times, when I ran for office, it was so funny. Hi, Kurt. How you doing?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
We're out here a little bit.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
Just a bit. It's a bit of a drive. I was teasing him because I tell everybody, it's like, okay, now if you get there ahead of me, just hang out. I'll be there in a minute. I literally live 2 miles from here. I could walk to work if I got up early enough. Yeah. But, so I said, hey, if you get there before I do, and he's like, well, I'm stuck in traffic. So I said, well, that's no problem. We'll get going and we'll get the show started. And there's always current events and things like that we need to talk about. I will say that Lee Marie, she always covers that for sure in the Go Show, which comes on today. And you're going to hang out with Lee Marie as well. So you're here for a couple of hours. You know that.
I'm used to it.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, well, very
So,
good.
Yeah.
And so we have been trying to get this on the books for a while, but where do you live, in Gallatin or Hendersonville?
Gallatin.
Gallatin.
Yep.
And my friend Terry Shows reached out to me a while back, and he says, I need you to have Kurt Riley on. I need you to have Kurt Riley on. And at first, I was like, politics, blah, I don't want nothing to do with politics. And everybody kind of knows that. And it's,
Yeah.
everybody's like, well, you ran for Congress. You were the Republican chairman. And again, it's just where I felt God guided me at the time. And I don't feel him guiding me there now. I'm very much into ministry and doing all the things. I'm a teacher full time. So I feel that focus, but I love my country and I want my country to thrive and I want to be free. And I don't think we are anymore.
Yeah.
You know, that's the problem.
Yeah.
And so how do we get back there? We don't want to, you never want to say, well, I'm just washing my hands of anything because there's always work to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, always.
And so as you and I talked, I was like, okay, we can do this. We can do this. This is, like I said, I get real, you know, antsy about politics because I just, as a believer in Jesus Christ and somebody that's trying my best to live in the kingdom of God on earth, I do not put my trust in anything other than him, period. And it took the last election just breaking my heart. I'll just tell you right now, because I felt like it was, you know, all the things. Mm-hmm. And just having to go, okay, God's in control, period. I trust that. It's out of my hands. But when I feel God calling me to something, I'm not going to ignore it. And I get the impression from you that that's where you are, that you just feel the call of God on you, that you've got to make a difference in this way. And you've developed this program and it's growing and it's thriving. And it's one of those things, if you answer something God's calling you to, if it's him, you can't stop it. If it's not him, you can't make it happen. So you gotta respect that.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
Did I kind of unpack where our conversation went and how we kind of met each other?
You did. I mean, I often think about, I know where I'm going in the end of this, and that's to heaven. Yeah. So why does this matter today?
Right.
Why should I care if somebody gets elected? Why should I care about, you know, world politics? We know how it ends.
Right.
We know where we're going. Why should we care?
Yeah.
And I think God he puts things on our hearts and tells us what to do. Mm-hmm. And it may not always make sense to us, but I think we're here to fight for the kingdom, for his kingdom on earth. I think we're to be a shining example of what needs to happen. I mean, we can roll over and let, you know, liberalism, you know, take over because it's taking over.
Oh, it hasn't. Right? It's not taking. It has.
Right. Do we want to fight back or just say, hey, well, good luck. I'll be over here in the woods. Yeah. You know, we'll see you in the end. Or what do we do? You know? Yeah,
I agree. And so it's trying to find that balance to not, and I tell the listeners a lot that I had that kind of literally come to Jesus moment whenever, after the last election. And I mean, I was just a mess. I was absolutely just torn up over it because I just saw so much corruption and deception. And I mean, I'm one of those who believe the election was stolen. I really do, you know, and I'm not going to, you know, argue that with you, whatever. But I had a friend of mine go, every morning I give my first fruits to God. I go to him. I don't turn on the political world. And I have felt, I had somebody the other day, I said, okay, God's really drawn me to something else. And they said to me, for now. And I thought, what do you mean by that? So I'm not one of these that is completely shut off to the fact that God may call me back in to that world at some point. I don't see it happening, but you know,
you never know.
I don't know. But I just know that I'm in the schools. And I'm working to just encourage those kids and to show them, you know, the love of Jesus, whether they know that's what they're getting or not. And just, you know, just trying to make a difference that way. So tell me about this, or we're talking with Kurt Riley, and he is the founder of
Sumner County Constitutional Republicans.
Okay. And like I said, Terry Shows called me. He says they're wanting to start. Is there a group started here now in Robertson County?
Yep.
Okay. What does that even mean? Because we have the Republicans. I didn't intentionally wear red today, guys. It was kind of an accident. I thought about that after I put it on. I was like, no, I wasn't doing that. Yeah. But again, when I ran, when I was encouraged to run, I really call myself more of an independent. Okay. I really, that's where the world I live in, and that's the world I was living in before I ran. But anybody that wants to run politically knows you have to choose one or the other. You try to run independent, and all you do is you just make noise.
Yeah.
You don't really accomplish anything. I'm sorry. That's just how it is. So you have to hang your hat with one or the other.
Yeah.
And so, I was told, help us bring the Republican Party back to its conservative, original, independent freedom values
Yep.
that we were supposed to have. And so that's why I ran in that way. So what made you start this, and how long has this been going, and kind of unpack it for us and give us all the statistics on it and what's happening. If you
Sure.
don't mind.
So this all started because in 2007 I got involved in local government.
Okay.
I didn't have streetlights in my brand new subdivision, and I was curious why.
Yeah. Okay.
There was some stuff that led up to that before that, but basically what happened is I started attending Hendersonville city meetings, and I did this for 10 years. And one day I just kind of had just a reflecting at home, an epiphany, if you would say that. And it was like, what have we really accomplished in 10 years of going up there and asking for things to get done? And I had met some great people at Hendersonville going to these meetings that were there because they couldn't get their drainage issues fixed, or they had road issues they couldn't get fixed. Variety of different issues. And we all kind of came to the same conclusion that, we've just, you send your emails and you get up there and you pound the podium and you talk to your elected officials afterwards, and you don't really seem to get what you want. Matter of fact, I met many people that said, Kurt, it's clear to me that these people don't work for us. It's like, we got to hold them accountable. We'll come up here and yell at them, and we'll send them emails, right?
Right.
And then one day I was talking with a friend of mine, and I said, how much actual, percentage wise do we think we got done by doing this in 10 years? And we made up an arbitrary number in our mind, and we just decided it was like, we moved the needle like 3%. And it seemed like an incredible investment for 10 years to really not get anywhere.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
And then it became clear that we needed to change the butts in those seats, right? Good people often believe or think like, I want to be left alone, or I'll just go in the woods, or I'll just buy some property out here and I'll get left alone.
Very tempting.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't take an interest in politics will take an interest in you one way or another. You're going to wake up and something's going to be at your door.
Mm-hmm.
And I meet so many people that show up and there was an action, a trigger, something happened that got them activated. So what we decided to do just over 5 years ago is we formed the Sumner County Constitutional Republicans with one mission in mind: to recruit, train, and educate God-fearing constitutional Republican men and women to run for local office. That's our main mission and always has been.
Okay.
Well, how has that worked out for us? 41 races, 33 of our people sit in seats.
Wow.
So 33.
And this is in Sumner County.
This is in Sumner County.
Wow. So what kind of offices are they holding now?
Oh, city, county, school board. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we've taken over our county commission. We took over our Hendersonville City Council. We put 4 people on the school board. We're running school board races right now. We would say we don't own the school board, but we're going to flip that board this year. That's next year is our belief.
Wow.
So what's happened is with all that success comes attacks.
Of course.
The liberal media. The Atlantic did an article against us. MSNBC. The AP, and we started to get noticed by around the state. People would contact us and say, what are you doing in Sumner County? Like, how are you winning these races? We're over here in Madison County, and we're getting our clocks cleaned. We're over here in Jefferson County. Can you come help us? And then that spawned the idea of like, how am I going to help other counties? Like, I can't do this. I'm trying to work on Sumner County. I got a full-time job. I don't want to do this. Yeah. And what's happened is that, God puts things on your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And you wake up one morning and you're like, I'm supposed to go help these people. I'm like, well, how am I going to do this? So what we did is me and another gentleman started the Tennessee Constitutional Republicans with a similar idea. Instead of educating and training people, now we want to educate and build groups to do what we're doing all across the state. I've been to 20 counties.
Wow.
And met with different patriot groups and trying to understand, like, what are they doing versus what we're doing. And one thing that's become absolutely clear, nobody's doing what we're doing.
Okay.
Nobody's even doing close what we're doing. Nobody's even close to having the success what we're doing. And I go to some of these, I was in Williamson County last week, 6-hour meeting with tons of people. It's a disaster down there.
Oh, yeah. It
know?
is.
Yeah.
It's a hot mess.
Hot mess. And it used to be known as a great place for conservatism. And
So did California.
right.
You know,
But what I've been able to do, really, I guess more than anybody, is to convince really good people that if not you, then who?
Yeah.
And they've they tell me no. Oh, I'm not. School board? Are you crazy? The next thing you know, 3 months later, we're holding signs, at a polling location. And they're like, how did this happen?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because you knew in your heart that if you didn't do it, you knew the people that we get, the type of people. Mm-hmm. When you find really good quality patriots and you convince them to run, you're going to change your government. But what they need, nobody knows how to do this. They don't know how to run. They don't know how to run an election. They're scared of, hey, I don't know how to govern. I've never done this before. Mm-hmm. Right? So it's all these things combined where we come in, and what makes it different is I'll sit down with candidates and I'll say, we're going to help you on day 1 and day 400. We're going to tell you every step you need to take in order to win an election, how it works, everything. I do training sessions. We do full training. We do hour-long conversations. I'll bring them to my house. I'll bring them to different venues, and we will sit down and we will go through every little detail about how to run a campaign and how to win. Mm-hmm. And it builds confidence in people, Mm-hmm. So that's really what we're about and what we've been doing, and that's why we've had all the success in Sumner.
That's amazing. And I guess my thing is, as somebody who ran for office, and everybody's like, why in the world did you go federal? Well, number one, I didn't know anything about local government. And having been in the media for so many years, I know how the federal government works very well. Local government, I'm learning, and I do believe, like you said, you change things from home, and then you spread it out. And from a ministry perspective, that's my ministry objective, because we go to Mexico every year, and the reason why we go down there and do these clinics and things like that is because we want to change their cities from the inside out. And so the work I do in ministry is changing things from the inside out. You have to do that in the political world as well. But you just get so, as I think about that, I have a good friend of mine that said, man, I'm so glad you didn't win, because you would have gotten, you would have been like them in Washington. And I thought, no, I wouldn't. I know who I am, and I know what my conviction is. Now, they may have ran me on the rails really quick, but I know who I am, and I know. But I guess the thing is, bottom line is, if I had the money to compete, I would be in Washington right now. Wasn't God's will, because the money didn't come through, and I had a couple of ways I could have raised it. I asked, they didn't bring it, so that's okay. So that God didn't make that happen, because you cannot compete, certainly in bigger elections, without a lot of cash.
Yeah.
A lot of money. Now, from a local perspective, I know you have to have money too, but it's not as astronomical.
Right.
Do you have aspirations of putting somebody in the House?
Already doing it.
Okay, so how'd you raise the money?
Well,
what
so
did you do? Because I'm just curious, because you can't do it without money.
Well, this is kind of where we are, level set. So we focused on school board, county commission, and city elections. Sure. This year, first time ever, we're running our first state Senate candidate.
Okay.
So we've stepped up a level here that we're, it's new water for us.
Okay.
So our candidate has done fantastic. He's raising money. But what's different about what we do is if you understand the Sumner County Constitutional Republicans, an average meeting that we have on a Saturday morning would have 90 people there.
Wow.
Right? Consistently. We've had as many as 130 in one meeting. Mm-hmm. That's an army of people that can go to work for your campaign. Our message around Sumner County has resonated across that county. People are now thinking to themselves, like, I don't want to vote because I don't know these people.
Right.
Right? A lot of times we look at voter data and the amount of people that don't vote in primaries. I mean, over here, I don't know what the number is, but I'm sure it's pretty
it's low.
close. Ours
Low.
is
Terribly low.
between 10 and 15% of
Terry
people
could
vote.
tell you, you know, absolutely. But, you know.
But why don't they vote? They'll say, well, I don't know these people and I don't have time to research, and they all lie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what we've done is we've instituted a 9-panel vetting committee process. We have a process for candidates. We run background checks. We get into your life. We're going to figure out what you had for breakfast. We're going to find out if you are who you say you are.
Right.
And if you are, what we do is we issue an endorsement. And voters over there know that at election time, I don't have to do the work. Somebody's done it for me.
Right.
So they just say, I just need to know who the Sumner County Constitutional Republicans have endorsed and recommend for this election, and I'll go vote.
Okay.
Because they trust the process and they see the quality of candidates that we put in these offices, you know. So they've seen the quality of candidates we've put in these offices, and I think they really understand that they're getting, you know, the GOP is all about quantity. We're about quality.
Right.
And these candidates, you know, I call them my freshmen, right? They're freshmen, they're learning, they're growing, but these are the folks that are going to graduate and run for state office, run for a US House seat, run for US Senate, right? All out of Sumner County. I want to spread these chapters like this and this methodology across the state of Tennessee, and I want to see this state become absolutely clear which state is the most conservative red Republican in the nation, and it's Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, very good. And I mean, and again, this is one of those things people have seen that I have definitely pulled back from politics on the show here, because this is a local show and we just talk about the events going on in the community, but we cannot ignore where we are politically. It's so interesting. This time next year, we're going to have a new president.
That's right.
Or a second term with the one we have. So, I mean, we're there, you know, and I have my students ask, I mean, I've got students that are coming of age that will be voting. And how do I, you know, it's just, I don't know. I'm with you completely. I'm just so tired of parties. Do you get that a lot? Do you just get some people that just talk about, I'm just tired of the parties, but it's like I tell people, they come to me and they come with all the concerns over the school system. And I'm like, this is what we've built. We have to work with it and make it better from within. That's what we have to do, because this is the way it works. And that's just kind of the same thing with politics. I'm kind of weighing them together, because that's the same thing. And that's why whenever I ran, I was like, okay, I'm going to put on my Republican hat, because I don't know how else to do this. And the only way I can change is to get in there and to start, you know, saying the things that need to be said. Yeah. You know, I don't know.
I mean, how do you, like today, if you think about politics, you know, we can run as libertarians, or we can run as the Green Party, and we can do all these things. But what really happens is, especially in Tennessee, if you don't run as a Republican, you won't win. No. So if you're not happy with parties, that's fine. But what is your goal? Are you trying to run and win?
Exactly. Or are you just trying to make a statement?
Yeah, I ask people, are you running to run, or are you running to win? Because there is a difference.
Yes, it is.
And we tried the Tea Party thing.
Oh yeah. We
kind of separated, and we were all mad at the Republican Party, and it's like, we're going to be the Tea Party. Where's that now?
Yeah.
I mean, I look at it and think, if we couldn't get the Tea Party off the ground at that time into maybe another party or another real movement with success, then I'm not sure we can do it. And right now, the Republican Party, you know, I'd like to say they've lost their way, but it's because we haven't held them accountable.
Right.
Right. We get mad
and putting them back in. We just keep going. Okay, I know that name. Go.
Yep.
You're doing nothing, but let me just send you back in there. You're not standing up for what I want you to do. You're not saying the things I want you to say. But I know the name. So
well, what we want to do is make sure we give you a high quality candidate,
right.
Somebody where you sit down and talk with this candidate and look at their background and look at who they are, and you're like, man, I really like this lady.
Mm-hmm.
She's awesome. I think it's so important that voters have an opportunity to vote for quality.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times it's just, I hate to say this, but it to me, bad people are attracted to government. They just are. It feels that way. What I'm trying to do in Sumner County and around the state is teach people how to convince really good human beings, God-fearing humans, that if they don't do it, we're going to still end up with the Joe Bidens because you're sitting on the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
And they understand that, but they have a lack of confidence because they don't know how to run a race or they don't know how to govern
or raise money.
Yeah. And then I said, look at Joe Biden. Are you telling me that you couldn't do a better job than Joe Biden or Nancy Pelosi up there on the Hill? Yeah. I'm not even asking you to do that. I'm asking you to run for your school board, for your kids' school.
Mm-hmm.
And it's things like that which they start to believe. It reminds me of The Matrix when Neo, if you've ever seen that movie, he starts to believe, right?
Yeah, I'm not a big movie person, but yeah.
When candidates start to believe, that's when things really change.
Yeah, and I get that. I mean, I've been there in my heart because I felt absolutely that really until I felt like I could win. I really did. Yeah. Everybody said, like, you're crazy, LaVern, you didn't have any money. And I got about 10,000 votes, and that's nothing like what you need to win across the district. And of course, we were in the 6th at the time, but then it's gotten reorganized. Yep. Mark Green is our representative now.
Okay.
And and y'all have John Rose still.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's a great guy. He's a great guy. I got to know him on the campaign trail. Good, godly man.
Yep.
But at the time, just getting to know him on the front end, I was like, are you going to be what we need? Yeah. And, that was the thing. And so I don't even want to go. Let me pause and take a break. There's so many things I have been in the political world for so long. I was a member of the Young Republicans in the 80s at Freed Hardeman. And so I've been, I've always had in my mind to be involved in politics.
Yeah.
And so I think that had a lot to do with my little run as well. But again, so many things on my mind, so many conversations we could have. We were talking with Kurt Riley. He is of the Sumner County Conservative Republicans? No.
Constitutional Republicans. Yeah. Okay.
Sumner County Constitutional Republicans, and there is a Robertson County Constitutional Republican.
Yes.
And we need to kind of unpack how people can get in touch with them locally. But we're going to go ahead and start talking about our sponsors. Actually, let's start with Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts and Gardening Center, because I started off with them as I sat down, because it's going to be 80 degrees today, y'all. It's crazy. And so this is a great opportunity for you to go ahead and get your garden cleaned out. We had that, had that little freeze. And if you need to check that, go ahead, Kurt, you're fine. And if we had the little freeze and it killed everything. Well, now you need to get that cleaned out and get your garden ready for next year. It will be in a minute. You'll be ready to start planting cool weather vegetables in about mid-February. And if you'll get that work done right now, while it's warm, you'll be so much happier, and you will just have beautiful things growing very quickly when spring finally springs. We want to encourage you, to go by Corbin Creek as you start thinking about your gift list that you have as we approach the holiday gift-giving season. You can go in to the store there and find all kinds of fun handcrafted items from Miss Jane. You'll find all the CBD products that are from local plants that Brother Bill Corbin grows, and the salves and things that Jane and Miss Amy and Miss Jane make right there in the house. Just great stuff that if you're trying to find an unusual gift for somebody, you'll find it there. I swear by the CBD oil. It helps me with my arthritis, and my doctor recommended it. All those things, guys, that Corbin Creek has to offer. Now's a really good time to talk to Amy about where to plant your hydrangeas, where to put anything perennial. Put perennials in the ground right now. And you will have some beautiful things popping up in the spring. It's just a good time to get out in the garden, especially today while the weather is a little bit warmer, and you can get some things done and get ready for spring, because it is coming, I promise. Get out to Corbin Creek today. Always get by there and make sure. I'm going to give you their phone number real quick. But you can give them a call at 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185. They're at 4920 Highway 161 in Springfield on winter hours now, 10 to 4, Monday through Saturday, and 1 to 4 on Sunday. Always let them know that U-Turn sent you. Talking with Kurt Riley. He is with the Constitutional Republicans, the Tennessee Constitutional Republicans, started with the Sumner County Constitutional Republicans. Right. I'm getting it right. So I saw you getting messages. Are people telling you things to talk about, or just any?
Oh no, that was I got work stuff going on, so
I have to expect Terry to reach out to you and go, "Hey, ask her," you know. But anyway, I haven't seen him in a long time. But whenever I was, hanging out with the local party, I did. So the Robertson County Constitutional Republicans are meeting, or what's the story on that?
Yeah,
we get in touch with them if they want to check that out.
Yeah, so Sean Haney is kind of leading that up. We're just getting this thing off the ground. Matter of fact, I think we have a mix and mingle. So what we do as part of these chapters is typically the way they get structured is we'll have a meeting on Saturdays mornings, right? In Sumner County, we do a meeting typically from 9 to 11.
Okay.
On Saturday mornings, and then we have breakfast, so people will come in. We kind of do this mix and mingle time, and then we'll have speakers, and then we're an action group. Like, we're not there to sing Kumbaya and go home. We're there to figure out what's the next step and what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, to be a member of the Sumner County Constitutional Republicans, you have to show up and have attended at least 5 meetings in a 12 calendar month. That's how you get a membership. We don't charge money. We don't have a bank account. We don't have a legal structure, right? We are as grassroots as they come, and we're focusing on elections. But what else we do is we want to build a social construct. So we'll do a mix and mingle at a local restaurant, right? Friday night, Thursday night. No agenda, just come hang out, fellowship with fellow like-minded, God-fearing, constitutional type people. And we love on each other. I mean, I've had people come to me and they're like, Kurt, this is like a family to me. They've moved here. They don't have anybody, and they come into this group, and especially the Californians, right? They escape.
Right. We got so many.
Yeah, they come in and they're like, listen, man, I love these people. I love this group. I want to get involved. I want to do more. I had a lady call me up or send me a message on Facebook, and she said, "Hey, we live in Michigan, and we're looking to retire, and we're going to move south, and we're doing some research, and we found your group, and we want to talk to you." I was like, "Okay, here's my phone number." So the lady calls me, and I tell her about who we are and what we do, and she's like, "Okay, we're going to move there." And I was like, "Oh, you are?" So she said, "Yeah, I'll see you in a couple months." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I totally forgot about it, and time went by, and I'm at my Saturday meeting, and this lady walks up and taps me on the shoulder and says, "Hey, I'm Barb from Michigan. Remember we talked on the phone?"
That's hysterical.
Like, yes. She says, "We bought a house here. We live here. We're a part of the group now."
Oh, how funny.
So
they're in Hendersonville.
They're in Gallatin.
They're in Gallatin.
They bought a house in Gallatin. So
that's wonderful.
The group is growing. It's been amazing. That's what I'm saying. People are moving here. And as we spread chapters, like here in Springfield, we're trying to get that chapter started. Sean's leading that. I know there's a mix and mingle coming up, and I have to look it up because I don't know all the dates of all this, but I'll look that up here in a minute.
Well, and if Terry's listening, maybe he'll put it up. I don't know. He may be at work, but he may know something about that as well. He may have forgotten that you're here today. We've been trying to get this on the calendar for a while. And again, I'm one of these people. I am so deep in biblical studies right now. And the thing I keep coming back to is not putting my hope in anything but Jesus Christ. But that doesn't mean that we sit back on our heels and don't participate and try to make the things that are part of our life better and more Christ-like. Yeah. People ask me, I'm 60 years old and I just started teaching. And my husband and I, we say we retired into teaching. And I encourage a lot of people that are people of faith to retire into teaching, not because we're going to go in there and start preaching at the kids, because they know there's something different about us.
Yeah.
And I said something the other day. I put up something because it concerns me. So many of the kids, not all of them. We've got some amazing kids, and they're all amazing. But so many of them have not really been taught about what to value in life and what to care about. They've been taught to value and care about things that are superficial and material, and they just that don't matter, that matter not at all. And so as we're trying to encourage them and to see the value in good education and those kinds of things, because they don't have that foundational, structure, we can't give them more than they're willing to take. But I told somebody the other day, we can only give them what they're willing to take. We can't make them care, but we can show them what caring looks like every single day. And that changes people.
Yeah.
That changes people.
Absolutely.
And so, I don't know. But, okay, Lee Marie is saying it's November 16th, and that is at 6:30 p.m. It's on a Thursday night at it's El Altino. I can't say that. It's the Mexican restaurant, guys. El Altino, is that how you say it?
That's what it looks like to me.
Okay.
I thought you did good.
Okay, but it's at 6:30, and everybody knows where that is. But it's November 16th, and so that puts it next Thursday night. So it's the Thursday before Thanksgiving. You can get out, and that's at 6:30, and just to mix and mingle. So there you go. And just, go out and check it out. And if you want to just meet some like-minded folks and see what this is all about. And I do encourage you guys. I don't want to be I've had several people ask me about running political campaigns because they know I've done it, and much to my chagrin. But and I just come right down on it, that you got to know how to raise money, and that's never been my strong suit.
Yeah.
And that's. Okay, there's two things I want to ask you. So what do you tell your candidates about raising money? And also, two, do you support term limits? Because that was something that I kind of hung my hat on big. But then I've got, I support term limits, but then when I get these people in that I think are doing a good job, I don't want them to leave because I don't know who's going to replace them. I'm real proud of the work that Senator Kerry Roberts is doing, And so do I encourage him to term limit when he's making a difference? But I did. I mean, one of my big campaigns, because I know that Trump was running on the same thing, is clean the swamp with term. The way to clear the swamp, to drain the swamp is with term limits. And I had this big banner that I carried around, drain the swamp, because that was something that I had no intention of going up there and staying. I wanted to go up there and make a difference. I don't know. What's the balance with that? What do you teach people?
This is my thought process on term limits. I am absolutely for term limits.
Right.
But if you think about the position we're in today, I mentioned earlier that I believe, unfortunately, that bad people are attracted to government. The pool of candidates to which we have to choose from is often not very good.
Right.
So what we want to do is we want to build out the pool with quality people. I think the more that you do that, the more quality that you have. The reason we have to term limit a lot of people in a lot of cases is they get in there, nobody runs against them, they can't be beat, they get corrupted over time. Nobody goes into office and gets more conservative. It just doesn't happen. They get in, I don't care who you send in there, you can send the most trustworthy person, and there'll be some level of backslide. It just happens. They're not going to get in there and all of a sudden turn super conservative, right? And people say, well, they got in there and changed. No, they didn't get in there and change. You sent who you sent. Did you send the right person? And I think oftentimes we don't. We think we do, but that person's going to tell us whatever they want us to believe. I mean, they get to create mailers, send them to our mailbox, and tell us how awesome they are. Then they turn around and say, go to our website. I go to their website, and then they tell me how awesome they are. But you won't buy a toaster on Amazon without reading 400 Amazon reviews, right? So what do? Why are we different? Why is it so important? We're the ones that get into the people's lives to make sure that when you go vote, that we can tell you that person is who they say they are. That person is not. Based on our vetting criteria and what we do, we believe that we're going to give you a higher quality individual, and you're going to be happy with that person. And when they get in there, the chance of a backslide is very minimal.
Well, see, I mentioned Senator Kerry Roberts because he's a dear friend of mine, and I would defend him and say I do not believe for a second that he has backslid.
Yeah.
And I could say I do believe he's probably gotten more conservative since he's gotten there. The man
rare
is
thing.
extremely. I mean, some of the things I've had him sitting in here and he'll say something. I'm like, "Ooh, you really did just say that?" Okay,
Yeah.
and rooting him on because he's saying some hard things for people to hear. And so I'm going to defend him in that because I don't believe we're getting that from him at all.
Well, that's great.
And so, but I know everybody's got their pet issue that they'll go, but what about this? But again, on the whole, I know the man, and he is extremely conservative, godly person. So, what do I do with that when I go? Okay, it's kind of like the same thing in regards to dealing with things within the school system that I find incredibly frustrating and a waste of time. I just can't begin. I could go over the list, but it's what we've built.
Yeah.
So it's the political world we've built. While I want term limits until we can really get them in a way that, I don't know. I just,
let me ask you
I
this.
just go in circles in my head with it because I don't want good people coming out,
You want term limits. Why do you want term limits?
Because for the most part, people get up there and they make it a career rather than a calling.
Yeah.
Rather than a season. No one was, when this all began, it was not intended for people to become career politicians.
True.
And I now meet people who, they go to school and study to go into politics and to be, that wasn't, I was talking to some of my students yesterday. They're all starting to approach that 18 and they can vote. And so they're going to have this little roundtable discussion. And the topic was thrown out. Should we lower the voting age? And I just laughed. I was like, are you kidding me?
Gosh.
And
Probably should raise it.
I was just, I said, are you kidding? I said, absolutely not. I said, if anything, it should be raised. And I said, you do understand that in the beginning, you had to be a landowner to vote. You had to have some skin in the game to vote. You had to have property, because why would you, have any say in something that you didn't have ownership of? And so, oh my goodness. But hey, I got to take a break. I could sit here and talk to you all day. I mean, it's fascinating. I think it's something that's worth your time checking into, guys, because while I trust in the kingdom that's here on this earth, and I trust God in all of it, I do not believe for a second that he wants us to sit back and do nothing and just say, okay, let happen what happens. Because if we had done that, think about where we would be. Think about the people and the tyrants that would be ruling us if we did not stand up. And I mean, we're coming up on Veterans Day, guys. We're the land of the free and the home of the brave. The land of the free because of the brave, right? Is that how the mantra goes? But anyway, let's talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. My friends in real estate that will take care of you. Barry is a marketing genius. He'll laugh at that, but he was the vice president of a media marketing company for over 17 years up in Nashville. And so when it comes to presenting your property and making sure that when people are flipping through it, right, they go through it so fast when they're looking in a certain zip code, you only get 1 second, sometimes to impress them with your photography, see that they have some videography and they have some video, they have maybe a walkthrough tour, even some drone footage. All those things that you want to present your property, they're going to take care of for you with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Barry is the broker here in town in Springfield. He has an office on the square. His bride, Rebecca, is the broker in White House. They have separate web pages. You can Google them at Exit Realty Garden Gate Team, Barry Richards, Exit Realty Garden Gate Team, Rebecca Richards. You'll find unique pages that will give you all the things you need to know about anything that's going on in the real estate world that concerns you. They live here in Robertson County. They specialize in Robertson County properties. They're up in Cross Plains, been there for 27 plus years. But they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. Connect with them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, buy, B-U-Y, robertsoncounty.com, or give Becky a call, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. Always let them know that U-Turn sent you. Okay. What else do you want to talk about? Go for it. We were just talking I know it's been just a scatter, but so many things on my mind as we come to the table with this. But what are we missing, Kurt?
Well, you mentioned Veterans Day. So Veterans Day is this Saturday.
Right.
Over in Sumner County, we are putting on a big veterans fundraiser with our organization. We will have Lieutenant Colonel Alan West will be there to speak. Also, we will have a special double gold star daughter and mother. She lost her father in Vietnam and her son in Iraq. She's a very special lady. So we're going to raise money for the Mighty Oaks organization. Mm-hmm. That's a great veterans organization that helps veterans with PTSD and other stuff. Musical guest is going to be Ron Hemby from the Imperials.
Oh, cool.
Will be there. He'll sing he's going to do, I'm not sure exactly what, but he'll be doing some singing for sure. So that's at 11 a.m. It's in Hendersonville at Beach Cumberland Presbyterian Church at 3216 Long Hollow Pike. You can find more information on our Facebook page. We post this thing pretty much every day. Mm-hmm. So go to the Sumner County Constitutional Republican Facebook page if you need more information. But again, Saturday, November 11th, this Saturday at 11 a.m. at Beach Cumberland Presbyterian Church in Hendersonville.
Okay, and Veterans Day, be sure and get out and support your veterans locally, and all you veterans, man, make your list of where you're going to eat. My son is a veteran, and he's so funny. He's like, well, I'm going to go here at this time and then here because they get all these free meals.
That's right.
And it's just like, they save up for days, and they hit them all.
That's right.
But it's fun. It's fun. But we're talking with Kurt Riley. He is the founder of the Sumner County Constitutional Republicans and the founder of the Tennessee Constitutional Republicans.
That's correct.
Debbie, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So when we going to do a national constitutional Republican.
Well, it's funny. I get these emails from Missouri and Wisconsin and, hey, come do this up there. We're not ready for that. We're not ready to really do it for the whole state. We don't have the bandwidth to do it. Yeah. But we're working on Sumner County. We're planting seeds across the state. We're helping people learn how to build groups and run and educate them. And I just don't see anybody else doing what we're doing in our model and having our success. When I go to these other counties, it's just not there. So that's what we're working on.
Okay.
So,
and do you have? Is there a fee for the candidates? Do you charge the candidates?
No.
Okay.
No, absolutely not.
That's what I find interesting because when I ran, I got all kinds of emails like, for this much, we're going to teach you how to do this, and and all these people wanted to charge me to learn how to do the things. I mean, do you teach candidates about the financial side of how you have to report all of your fundraising and how you have to report all your spending and how you have to have a treasurer, all these things?
Yes.
You have to have all that.
We do it all. I mean, you'd be surprised on how long we can argue about fonts. I mean, you would.
Fonts, he said. You got a little bit of a twang there. Where are you from?
I grew up in Michigan.
Okay, I was going to say.
But I've lived in 5 states.
Yeah, but you got. My husband's from the Upper Peninsula.
Oh, he's from the UP?
He's a Uper.
Oh, there you go. He's a UP.
Are you a troll or
I'm a
Uper?
troll.
Oh.
Yeah, the fact that you even know that is crazy. Most people don't understand that.
Well, yeah, I'm married to a Uper, man. And what's so funny is we talk about how the rednecks are in this area.
Yeah.
They got nothing on the UP. Yeah. And you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I've been up there many times.
It's beautiful. It's wonderful.
Wonderful.
Oh my gosh, it's just spectacular. But yeah, I'm
redneck, I've always said it doesn't matter where I go. I find some version of rednecks. We all have some level of that. I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, up there they wear flannels and they dress a lot warmer than we do down here. Yes, they do.
Here, so. And wear their Stormy
Cromer hats.
I've got one.
There you go.
Yeah, that's great. I love this. What part of Michigan? Where are you from in Michigan?
I'm from an area called St. Joe. It's as Michiganders do. They put up. They point right here.
So you're in the southern part of Michigan, southwestern Michigan. Okay. Now let me ask you this: as talking about all these things, as somebody that absolutely was so frustrated with the election. And I don't know, you know how you have just kind of a foreboding sometimes? And I can remember everybody being so optimistic about, oh yeah, Trump's going to get reelected and all this. And I had this feeling the year before that something could happen, and COVID happened. And I mean, it was in my mind. I thought, I don't know. how they can use things. And I just had this foreboding even the year before that I just felt something coming. And when it happened, it shattered me. I mean, because I saw the country headed in a better direction. And that's not to say that I'm like, I think Trump is awesome. I wish he would be more, I wish he would just be real godly and honest and talk about repentance. And because everybody wants to bring up all these things because he's done some things that you go, what?
Yeah.
But repentance is real, and anybody can say, this is who I am now, and I wish he would stay off the Twitters and all that kind of thing and just, focus on being what God wants him to be. But I guess the thing is, as I'm looking at all this and I'm weighing all this and just the turmoil that I was going through, and I looked at other states like Michigan that were not preventing the, we found these ballots, all this kind of stuff. I mean, that kind of nonsense. What can we, that's my concern as we approach election a year from now.
Yeah.
Have the states taken care of that? Are they, I don't worry about Tennessee. I don't. Now, I want to keep my eye on it because I don't want it to go that way. But for those of us, that's one of the reasons a lot of people aren't going to the polls anymore. They're like, well, it don't matter because we can do what we're supposed to do in our state. And if they don't do what they're supposed to do in California and Michigan and the ones that let us down last time.
Yeah.
What are you seeing as somebody from Michigan and has lived in other states? Do you see it? And I've asked this of Senator Roberts too. I said, okay, do you think we're getting those checks in place? And maybe I even asked John Rose that. And I was encouraged that they say that they're, because we can't go in and mandate for this state. That's what state rights are about. But it's discouraging to those of us in a conservative state who feel like we're getting it done to see what the other states are doing that is bringing down the entire country.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I'm worried.
Yeah,
I'm worried.
I am too. Okay.
States run by Democrats. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, we see what happens with the ballot stuffing, with the election and voting machines.
Crazy.
I don't know how that we as conservatives can sit here in Tennessee and say, you know what, Wisconsin, they'll be okay. Pennsylvania will they'll do all right. No, I'm worried, and we all should be worried that we do everything right. I was with Turning Point USA spokesman about a month ago. He had said to me, Kurt, Turning Point, we believe this next election will actually come down to Wisconsin.
Wow.
Whoever wins Wisconsin will win the presidency.
Wow.
So if you believe that, then, boots on the ground from us, even if we have to travel, we have to help in every way. If we might be secure here, but what can we do to help other states? And that might be send people and send money.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's one of the things is we had different elections, senatorial races that were in, runoffs and things like that. The things that I was like, okay, we can do that. And then it was just like nothing happened. And I don't know. It's hard to keep heart.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep heart.
It really is.
And again, I come back to God's in control, trust him, but don't stop working. Don't give up. Don't give up. Well, that's why your organization does encourage me, that somebody is going, man, we can't give this up.
Well, I'll say this. We can't necessarily control what happens in Washington,
right?
But we can fix our own backyard.
Right.
And this is where we should start.
Yeah.
If we can't fix our own backyard in our state, why would we believe we can fix that up there?
I agree.
So that's what we need to be focused on as citizens of Tennessee is making sure we're doing everything in this state to get the best quality people in our state and local offices.
Right. It's so funny. I've got to do a couple of breaks still. And I have so many interesting conversations with my students. And as we were talking about the people who were running for office in the presidential election, young students, 15 years old, were going, they just don't seem like very good candidates.
Yeah.
They get it. They're going, they're not real high quality people. And I was just like, I have to keep my mouth shut, but I just letting them kind of come to their own realizations of what really is happening. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're going to talk about our sponsor, Cumberland Connect, right now, guys. Big fan of Cumberland Connect. If you're not a Cumberland Connect customer, guys, What are you waiting for? If you are a Cumberland Electric customer, everybody that is a Cumberland Electric customer is going to have access to high-speed internet via Cumberland Connect. If you want to just go to cumberlandconnect.org, and just see what they have to offer as far as putting your zip code in and checking your availability, this first thing's going to pop up for you. You can go down and find out information about the Affordable Connectivity Program that helps qualifying households with up to a $30 monthly credit to help pay for broadband services. And, they have programs that start at just $30 per month. So you could get internet in your home, again, for $30 and have that benefit for your kids, for your work, all of those things. They're just about to get everybody in the Cumberland Electric family connected. We know, we're talking about Senator Roberts today, he's going to be one of the last ones. So when we talk to him and find out he's gotten connected, just about everybody should have access by that time. It is now a utility. It has replaced our phone lines. That's why it's being facilitated through Cumberland Electric. So if you're a Cumberland Electric customer and you have not checked out Cumberland Connect, do so today. You can go to cumberlandconnect.org, and check the availability. You can talk to them at customer service if you want to give them a call. 1-800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362. All kinds of ways to connect with them. You're going to get a great customer service connection, and $80, you can get a gig, guys. I was paying $65 for terrible internet. Now I got a gig. I'm getting 500-600 upload and download speeds. It's amazing. And you can have the same benefit if you just check them out today. Cumberland Connect, cumberlandconnect.org, 1-800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362. Tell them U-Turn sent you. Kurt Riley is going to hang out for another hour with Lee Marie and the Go Show, talking about all of this. And she's way more plugged into the political scene than I am. So funny. My run for congressional office is the reason why she and I met. And I often, when I try to figure out why in the world I ran, because it sometimes it doesn't make any sense to me, it's the paths that opened up. This job, my teaching job, all the things opened up because of that. So God will take you down some crazy paths sometimes to take you to new worlds. But what are we missing that you want to cover while I'm still with you? I've got just a couple of minutes here.
Never lose sight of the fact that we have a higher power.
Amen.
Trust in Jesus.
Yeah.
Everything we do, this started from being in a prayer group, right? We prayed for 2 years on what we were going to do. And, we had a big map of Sumner County.
Wow.
We would lay it out and pray over Sumner County and pray for our elected officials. And we would say, God, what are we supposed to do? Right? What is your plan? And God put this on my heart, and I've tried to avoid it at times. Mm-hmm. I've tried to run away from it, but God won't let me. And I know that this is what he wants me to do. I've seen an incredible change in Sumner County with, when guys like Ben Cunningham come up to you and say, this is some of the best people I've ever seen run for office.
Ben was highly involved with Tea Party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He runs the Nashville Tea Party. He's been just a political activist across the state for a long time.
Very good person.
Very good. And he says, Kurt, what you've done here with these people is amazing. I said, wow, Ben, well, we try. We're trying this. So I call it the social experiment. And right now it looks good. It's working. We're changing Sumner County, and we'll see how this thing ends up. But, that's what we're doing.
Well, and honestly and truthfully, having been on the campaign trail and experienced a lot of the politics of Sumner County, wow, it needed it. It needed it.
Yeah.
And all of us do. All of us, we all need that check and balance. None of us should ever get so comfortable to be like, oh, we got this. No, you don't. Every day it's a journey. And the fact that you guys spent 2 years praying over this gives just great credibility to it in my regard. I mean, because I know, again, if it's not from God, you can't start it. And if it is from him, you can't stop it. That's right. I believe that with all my heart. And so God bless you. Maybe I'll see you at a meet and greet.
I'd love to see you.
Are you going to come out to the one at
My plan is to get out here November 16th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
come on out.
Friday. Or next Thursday.
Next Thursday, November 16th. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it.
I have a really busy schedule, but I would love to see everybody. Number one, I made a lot of friends in the Republican Party because I don't go to the meetings now on Saturday that I miss. And I would love to just kind of see everybody and rub elbows with them again and just love, just reconnect. But I respect what you're doing. And I appreciate the fact that you give God the glory and just how can we make a difference?
This is
From
his
the inside
his
out.
plan, and
His
we're
plan.
executing.
Amen. Kurt Riley's going to hang with us. Lee Marie's coming in here for the Go Show, guys. So much going on. She's got on her
What is it?
Orange Heart, the Orange Heart Medal Foundation shirt, and all the things that are going on with that. So we want to continue just to talk about all the things that are going on locally. I do need to mention Veterans Motorplex real quick. I haven't done their ad yet. This is the last race this weekend. Veterans Motorplex, what better way to go and hang out for Veterans Day in the evening? The gates will open at 4 o'clock. A chance to go and support a veteran, Jerry, and all the things that they do at Veterans Motorplex. Now, this is the old Highland Rim Speedway, you guys. If you want to follow them on social media, go to Highland Rim Speedway, and you'll find all the details there. That's where they put up all the information about any kind of schedule changes. This is the last race of the season. Gates will open at 4. It's going to be the Crown. It's going to be the Crown Vic 50 Lapper. It's going to be a great time. You do not want to miss it. And you want to get out there. A $40 ticket will get up to 8 people in the gate, 6 kids and 2 adults for $40. They got a great concession stand. Just so much fun stuff. If you've not been to the races, this is a family-friendly environment. You can bring the kids out. There's no alcohol. When have you ever gone to a racetrack that, you didn't have to think about that? So you can bring the kids out, have a good time. They're going to have games and things for the kids to do. They're just going to have a wonderful time out there. This is the time to go and see what racing's all about, to get you all fired up for the season that'll start back up in the spring. We appreciate Jerry and the folks at Veterans Motorplex. But get out there today. This is in Greenbrier, 6801 Kelly Willis Road, 6801 Kelly Willis Road. Get out there Saturday. Again, gates open at 4. Racing starts at 6 and go to about 9. If you have questions, 615-643-8725, 615-643-8725. As always, let them know U-Turn sent ya. And Lee Marie is on the way with the Go Show. Stay with us. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a wonderful day.